catfish? No, not that kind, but this kind, defined on Merriam-Webster as a person who sets up a false personal profile on a social networking site for fraudulent or deceptive purposes, also known as a scam. The term became known nationally thanks to the popular MTV show by the same name. The host meets viewers who believe that they are in a happy relationship with a partner they met online, but over the course of the episodes, the person's true identity is unveiled. Love through the computer screen is extremely common. Pew Research Center says that 30% of Americans have attempted digital dating, which is how we meet Rebecca.
I had gone on to a legitimate dating site, OkCupid, and I had been married before. It had been a couple of years since I had been in a relationship, so I decided, well, I'll give online dating a shot. A friend of mine was giving it a shot, so I figured, I'll do it with her, sort of be her wing girl.
Recently divorced, she decided she was ready for a real connection, so she put herself out there.
I thought I was being smart in, saying, this is the package I come in. These are the things I'll put up with in a relationship. These are the things I won't put up with in a relationship, that I'm looking for a long-term thing, not a hookup or, very, what people usually come across on dating sites.
And her wish came true.
But then I met Matthew, and Matthew was a single father of a 5-year-old son, and we just really hit it off. He was really very charismatic. We had a lot of the same interests. I happen to love men with accents. He was from Australia, and we just really connected.
The two would text, email, and talk on the phone for hours on end, never growing tired. But perfect bliss hit a roadblock. Matthew called her with the problem. He had taken his son with him overseas for his job as an oil magistrate, and his bank card stopped working, leaving him and his son stranded.
He was basically stuck and, had this child with him in tow. So, and I didn't want to be, I'm human. I have a big heart. I couldn't leave a child in a bad situation.
So she started sending money, a few $100s at first, turning into thousands. She believed she was helping keep them afloat, all with the promise that as soon as his nightmare was over, he would pay her back and come home so they could meet in person and be together.
There were the promises. When I get back, I'll pay you back all the money. It's not going to be an issue. I just need to finish what I'm doing here, because I can't be in breach of contract. If I'm in breach of contract, I'm going to lose my company, and it's just going to be awful.
But it never happened. Months went by. Funding Matthew with so much money, she was in financial ruin.
I was in such distress. And I voiced this to him. I said, look, I'm in a bad way here. I'm being, sued by Discover Card. I'm about to be evicted from my apartment and be homeless. I'm just not in a very good place right now.
And finally, the facade broke.
And I think he, realizing that there was no money left to get out of me, when I told him, look, I'm very seriously thinking suicide is my only option. And he said to me, and I will never forget the indifference in his voice when he said it, well, you have to do what you have to do.
Broken and helpless, the relationship was over.
Matthew didn't exist. What it is actually a group of people working behind the scenes. They use those endearments like my darling, my queen. They don't often use your name because they are working so many people at the same time.
Rebecca tried to reach out to police, but was told that there wasn't anything they could do. Hearing Rebecca's story and seeing the ease at which her catfisher was able to steal thousands of dollars from her led me to do some investigating. I had to know, how was this even legal?
Because if I give you money willingly, it's not against the law, unless you are, committing fraud in some way or identity theft. If I give you money, it's a civil issue and you have to take me to court.
David McClellan runs Social Catfish. It's a website designed to track down the person behind social media or dating profiles. It's a real problem here in Florida. A recent report from the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Internet Crime Complaint Center says that the state has over 1,300 scam complaints, the second most in the country. And while most scams go unreported, the victims still exist.
The biggest victims tend to be people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that have never really dated online.
But McClellan says to protect yourself, look out for those red flags.
Anytime anybody asks you for money, right? if they want to send you money or they ask you for money, that's always a red flag, especially if you haven't met up. If they make all sorts of excuses to not meet up, or that they're overseas and all these series of events start happening, they got in an accident, they're stuck at the border, the military won't send them over, those are huge red flags.
So it's always better to proceed with caution. Don't accept people on Facebook or Twitter who you don't know in real life. And if you're on a dating site, always try to meet in person before establishing a relationship. In Lee County, Christina Evans, Fox 4.